For B2B businesses and B2B SaaS, there are a lot of objections around buying a marketing product. So this video is for you guys. I just manually just collect these objections from you via the email and comments, and a lot of them in my social media. So this long video is for you guys to overcome the common objection. Okay, so the first one is we don't have the budget for it. A real estate syndicator must, much like a small isolated village, right? So had a small loyal group of investors, a single agent, well, that had served them faithful, but as their ambition, right? So the well began to run dry, and they found themselves unable to find larger and more profitable deals. Okay, so you need to understand the point of at this perspective. We must conserve that little we have. The syndicators declare, echoing the fearful villagers. We don't have the budget, right? So to go looking for new investors, a wise consultant like a village elder pointed to a vast digital landscapes of potential investors. Okay, your current investors are not your only resource, right? So they are merely a starting point. The real source of capital is a river of investors that flow around you. So that's the goal of marketing. Okay, so you invest a small strategic portion of your budget and building a channel, a target ad campaign. You can tap into that river and bringing endless supply of a new capitals to your deals. Okay, so the syndicators inspired by this vision pulled with their resources, built the channels, and soon their business flourished with an abundance of new investors, transforming their modest operation into a thriving enterprise. So if you say, for example, you don't have the budget for marketing, that's pretty good, but it's not like a man dying thirst in the desert, holding a single handmade content. Okay, so refuse to use this land bit of energy to work to a visible oasis because he is afraid of wasting the water he has left. Okay, that's the perspective you are thinking when it comes to this arena. Okay, so the water in the contain is not the solution. It's merely the fuel to get to the solution. Okay, your current capital is not just for deals. It's the fuel to build the engine that will bring you an endless stream of deals. Okay, that's completely lie on your side. So you need to understand this concept of we don't have the budget for it. Everyone doesn't have the budget at the same time. Everyone has the budget to grow. Okay, so if you have time, that will be good, or money, both ways. It's have a dollar value assigned to it. So we can move over there. Okay, so it's too expensive. That's the most common. The fund manager, much like a farmer with a field of first but rocky land, spent his days in a grilling manual labor. He toiled under the hot sun of cold coals and manual prospecting, painstakingly removing one rock at a time. Okay, this is the situation you are in. If you are saying it's too expensive, the advertising agency, like merchants with a power ox and plow, offered him a solution, a target ad campaign to automate his prospecting. Your fees are too high. The fund managers brought whipped the suite of wasted effort from his bro. Okay, so I can't afford such an expensive tool. The agency representatives, like a wise merchant in this case, replied, the cost of this tool is insignificant compared to the value of the deals you will close once your time is free from this manual level. Okay, it's to because every time has a dollar assigned to it. Okay, so that's why you need to understand it. The true expense is the opportunity cost of every qualified investors you fail to reach while you are tolling into this field by hand. The fund managers reconsiders invested in automated prospectors cleared his field of prospecting in a fraction of the time. the bounty harvest of new leads he reaped paid for the service many times over. Okay, so his fund prospered for years to come. To say that marketing is too expensive, this is the master carpenter refusing to buy a power saw because he already owned a Hanson. He looked at the price of the process, the power saw. Okay, so seeing only the cost, not the exponential. Okay, in his productivity and earning potential, he is focused on the expense of the tool that he falls to see the far greater expense of his own wasted time, effort. So marketing is not a cost. It's a force multiplier for your most valuable asset, which is your time. Okay, so don't think the perspective of it's an expensive. So or just don't be cheap. Okay, so I'm not sure about the ROI. Most of CEOs asking me about the ROI, and potential investors must like a ship's captain in encountered the waters was hesitant to commit to a real estate fund. Okay, so he was navigating the treacherous sea of financial decision with an old unreliable map of past experience and vague promises. Okay, this is the point you are in. I have heard this kind of projection before. He said fearing he would run his capital aground on hidden reef or of poor performance. The fund managers like a skilled navigator with a sextant and detailed charts didn't just over assurance. Okay, so he opened his laptop in the first place. He revealed a data driven dashboard. We don't not sell blind. Okay, so the fund manager explained with these tools we plot our position with precision. We track our cost per acquisition, our lead conversion rate, and lifetime value of the investors. Okay, everything is tracked. So you can get pretty good at with return to it. Okay, so we adjust our courses based on data, not guesswork. The investor reassured by the funds committed to measurable results, set a bold new course, and made a substantial investment. Okay, so his confidence secured not by promises, but by the certainty of the data. To be unsure about the ROI of digital marketing is like modern days airline pilot refusing to use GPS because he are not sure it's inaccurate. He preferred to fly by sight. Okay, so hoping they are not going in the right direction. Okay, but a data-driven marketing campaign is a GPS of business growth. It tells you actually where you are, okay, where you are going, and also the most efficient route to get there. To ignore it is choosing to fly into a cloud hoping you didn't hit a mountain. Okay, we can't afford to waste money on ads that didn't work. This one is the most common one. A marketing team like Anarcha with a quiver of expensive handcrafts arrow was tasked with launching campaign for luxury research department, and then knew they can't afford to waste a single shot. Instead of firing all their arrow at the distant target in once, they first took a few practice shots at the closer target, and they created two different versions of the ads, ran small scale A/B test. Okay, I just their aim based on the result only when they were constantly hitting the bullseye on the practice targeting. Okay, so when they know which ad was the didn't they launch the full campaign? That's the hack. Okay, so they they're careful iterative and approach paid off. Okay, so the campaign was a resounding success and the testament to their strategic and use of their valuable budget. To worry about wasting money on ads that don't work is a valid concern, but to let that fear paralyze you is like a scientist refusing a conduct any experiment because some of them may fail. Okay, the very nature of scientific discover and of effective marketing is experimentation. We don't guess, we test. We start with a small control experiment to see what works, and then we double down on the winners. A failed ads is not wasting money, it's a data. Okay, so if you are saying it doesn't work, you need to collect that data and you can figure out based on that how it works. That's the mindset you need to have. Okay, so it's a lesson that we paid for, a lesson that makes our next utmost effective. Okay, so that's the lesson. So there is not a losing and winning. Every time is winning. You learn or you earn. Okay, so we're getting costs and marketing is the first to go. That's our probably 4 out of 10 reasons why you are not buying a marketing thing. So a business owners facing an economy downturn, much like a farmer facing a long, hard winter season to cut his marketing budget. It's the same exact point you are in. Okay, so it's a luxury we can't afford right now. Here isn't an only echoing the farmer who chose to eat his seeds corn to survive the winter. That you are seeing in the marketing. Okay, but at the week went by, his sales pipeline, his field of future growth began to dry up. His competitors, who had maintained their marketing effort, were captured his market share. When spring comes and the economy began to recover, the business owner had no seeds to plant. His field lay fallow, and his business, which had once been strong, was lost. Okay, his short-sighted decision to cut his marketing budget, his seed corn, has sealed his fate. Okay, to cut marketing first when cutting costs is like a sailor in the storm toss. See, deciding to save weights by throwing his life raft on board overboard. It seems like a logical way to lighten the load, but it's a decision that eliminates any hope of survival. Okay, so if the ship goes down, marketing is not ballast. Okay, so it's your raft. It's one thing that keeps you afloat in a downturn. Okay, so and carry you to show the discovery to recovery. Okay, so when your computers are thinking that is a time to inflate your life raft and paddle hard, it's all about there. And if you have another objection, you can send me through my email here or on the Upwork as well. So I can just come up with similar long video and hope that will answer your objections. So I'll put the rest in next loan. So be patient. Thanks.